Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Hello, ladies and bees and gentlemen, and welcome back to a very special episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. How are you all doing, everyone? I hope you enjoyed your entire week, because I know that it's been quite busy for me, but things have gotten a lot better, and I've remembered to give myself a break and all that kind of stuff. But now I am ready to bring you a lot of energy and a lot of fun here. And what's wild about last week is that, man, we have gotten so many trailers. Oh, and by the way, on a side note, thank you so much, Edward, for being the new fish to go and start things off here. But back to what I was saying, we have received so many teasers and trailers to go and hype us up for what's going to be coming up, not just at the end of this year, but also what's going to be happening in 2026. And in that regard, I knew that I cannot do this alone, and I brought you a very special guest star here. This is someone who I consider to be quite a rising star on YouTube, who is mostly known for creating a lot of video essays, but the stuff that he has made are very fascinating, that really goes in depth into comics, into movies, into pop culture, into YouTube culture, and so much more. And I cannot wait to go and have this episode with this guy. So please welcome to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, Anthony Gramuglia. Anthony, what's up, dude?
Not too much today. I'm on my was this cup 11 or 18 of coffee, and functioning okay. I think I think I can match some of your energy there. I'm not entirely sure. I was trying to follow. All of a sudden, the Twitch started acting up, so I'm just gonna let that just sit there for now.
Hey, fun fact, by the way, I never drink coffee. I'm not a fan of the stuff.
How do you So wait, you're that energetic just without copious amounts of caffeine?
Pretty much. It's a gift, I guess. I mean, like, I drink like sodas, which sometimes can have caffeine, but generally, I'm just not really a fan of coffee, mostly because of the taste. So a lot of my energy is just it's all natural.
You see, that is impressive. That is a talent that I personally do not have. So I admire anyone who can do that. No. I unfortunately, I do not function without 19 cups of coffee at all times. Doctors have expressed concern that might be excessive, but I have told them nothing. I just drink it anyway, so it works out.
It's pretty much like when dentists ask you about flossing. It's like you're just there, yes, but actually no.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And personally, also speaking, gotta tell you this right now: if you're Italian, and any Italians in chat can confirm this is true, when you're born, they actually give you a cup of espresso and a bottle of wine at the hospital when you're about 3 days old. And you're expected to finish the espresso, before you so it works out. So you're from birth engineered to be a coffee drinker. It's how it works.
That is fair. And especially speaking of baby, like you are now a new dad. So how's that going for you?
What gave that away?
I don't know. Well, the fact that you're number one.
Oh, it's going pretty well. I actually, it's funny. I've saved all my days off of my day job to kind of dump them at the end of the year now, because I knew my son was gonna be born. So I've been taking some time to rest if possible. But given the fact I have a YouTube channel and a full-time job, and a baby, it's a lot of strain. I have not slept in about 5 weeks, but I'm hoping that I can make it up into 6. So it all works out.
Hey, I wish you all the best of luck on that. And again, congratulations on your newfound fatherhood. So with that said, though, and I want to go and ask you after this nice little chat, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast?
I was going to say yes, but now I'm curious what is about to befall me, and I'm not sure if I'm ready. But we'll go anyway and see what happens.
Well, that's the best part. You got to expect the unexpected. And
That's
chat
true.
wall, by the way, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, fellas. Are you ready? So let's see. Is the chat wall prepared? And yes, by the way, rest in peace to writer Dan McGrath, who has unfortunately passed away recently. So it is also worth mentioning. So let's see. Yes, I think people are prepared. That is great to see. And by the way, just a quick side note. Thank you so much, Omid, for being a new fish. So with that said, it is now time that we shall go and get things started. Now, Ant, since you are my guest, as you know, we got a whole bunch of trailers that we will have to go through. But for you, as a little treat for coming on by here, I want you to go and pick the order of which trailers that we're going to go and watch and discuss. So what's the first trailer you want to go and see?
Well, I think given all the selection between all of these, I think the one that I think a good one to start off on might be the most recent one, or that being Moana, the Moana live action film.
Oh.
That being said, though, I think we also may have the least to say about it. So I think it's easy to start with that one.
Fair enough. We might as well go and get that one out of the way. So let me go and set things up. Oh, crap. Do I even have that, actually?
You sent me the link, so hopefully you have it.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is there.
There you go.
Hold on a sec. All right, there it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin this by checking out the teaser trailer for the live action remake of Moana.
I am a girl who loves my island. I am Moana!
And that is the live action remake of Moana, to which the movie is going to be coming out in theaters on July 10th, 2026. So, Ant, since you want to go and start off with this one, do you want to express your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it sucks.
Well, very straightforward.
That's my quick thoughts on it. Like, here's the thing. I've been criticized more than once for not being super harsh on the Disney live action movies. I think most of them are I think some are more offensive than others, I think. But this one it doesn't just look like it's redundant. That'd be one thing. If it was a redundant, like, entry in this whole collection, that's one thing. And this looks like worse. Like, somehow the CG that they spent presumably hundreds of millions of dollars on looks cheaper than the animation that they made back like a decade ago. The design, granted, we barely see any people in here. It's mostly just the effects and the landscape we're seeing. It'll probably make a lot of money. Lilo and Stitch made a ton of money. It doesn't look like it's going to be as controversial as the Snow White remake, which I think probably is something we're considering. How can we? It looks just like the movie. It looks just like the original one. So, like, just watch that. It's probably better. But it's like, I don't even think the set, it all looks like it's made in like a computer. It doesn't look like it's made with actors. It doesn't look like it has like real Polynesian, like, anything. It looks very artificial. And I don't know, it just bothers me. I keep mentally going back to, you've probably seen it, the 90s live action Jungle Book movie that Disney made back in the 90s with
Yes, I remember seeing that
years ago. Yeah, years ago. And I think of that set, like they translated not exactly what the animated film had, but they got the vibe of it so well. They got granted, you can't really have any real animals anymore on set because of safety reasons. If you watch, Nope, you get an idea why they can't do that too often. Animals are unpredictable. But the idea of it was they took an animated production and tried their best to make it in live action. This is taking an animated production and making an animated production with people slapped in there. It's if it's no different than technology they used to make like dinosaurs. Well, actually, no, it's the inverse of that. But it's just wild to me watching this. 'Cause I'm going like, okay, where's the thing that makes me want to see this that's distinct? I just see a trailer for a movie I already saw, and just based on experience, it's going to be like a scanner. It's going to be like through a glass darkly. It's going to be the same thing, but just reflected in a darker, dingier, less colorful light. And it's like, what's the point? Hell, I'd rather watch Moana 3 than watch this live action film. And that's not exactly high praise when it eventually gets made. Because it will. It will.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. And when I looked at this, I actually do have serious concern. I mean, like, there's already the same arguments that people have had in regards to the fact that, yes, we're getting a live action Moana remake, and it's going to be coming out when the movie itself won't even be 10 years old. And it's also technically going to be Disney's first live action remake of a computer animated feature. But there's just so much of what I've seen on this where, like, even though it's only like a minute long, and we have only seen like just little snippets of like little parts, and as you mentioned, the only prominent human that we have seen is Moana herself. Like, we have yet to even see what many of the other characters look like, whether it be Moana's parents or especially Dwayne Johnson as the live action Maui. But the thing is that there's just so much of it that is the exact same thing. And it reminds me so much of what we have just seen this summer with the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. Now, I know there are plenty of people out there who really like that film, but for me personally, I personally consider it one of the worst live action remakes because it is so much of the same thing, like so much to a fault, where even when I was watching it on the big screen, I just felt like, what's the point of watching this when I've already seen the original animated feature? And that's kind of like the big concern about the impact that the How to Train Your Dragon remake would go and have onto the future of all these live action remakes in general. Considering that what we have seen this year with the remakes, like with Snow White, Lilo and Stitch, and How to Train Your Dragon, even though Dragon was not the most successful one, at least compared to Lilo and Stitch, that didn't get as much backlash on it, mainly because of the fact that it sticks with the same. It plays way too safe just to repeat the same thing again and again with what the original has done. And I'm kind of worried with the Moana live action remake that they're also going to do the same thing, that it'll just end up becoming the same movie, but with the same kind of CG, with the same kind of, like, with the same everything. I mean, you even get the novelty of having an actor from the original film come back to do a live action version of it, where in How to Train Your Dragon, you got Stoic, you got Gerard Butler, who played Stoic, and now in here, you got Dwayne Johnson coming back as Maui. So that's honestly my biggest thing. Like, yeah, I know that there are like some of the changes that in the live action remakes, what they do, they suck. Like, even with the Lilo and Stitch remake, like, personally, I'm more forgiving of it. I think it's one of the better live action remakes, but that ending, I do, like, as very controversial as it is, I do understand that it is definitely the weakest point of the entire feature. But still, though, I do appreciate that it does try something a little bit different. You know, it's not trying to be an exact copy and to make itself stand on its own, where you're not getting the full same experience, where you don't feel ripped off when you're watching it. And that's kind of what I'm concerned with the Moana remake, is if Disney just wants to play it safe with their live action remakes, and they'll just make they'll just make the same Moana movie, but now with live action, and especially with weird CG. In fact, I kind of forgot to show the ending bit, like after
it's so weird.
Yeah,
so strange.
Yeah, and like, what is the freaking chicken? Is like, why is Hey look
that
like
thing
a
is begging for death?
Yeah,
it begs for death. It begs for the urn. It doesn't even beg for the oven. It begs for the urn. That thing. It begs for a quick and painless demise as it screams agony into the air. Every cell of it begging for longing for self-immolation.
I just feel like it's part of. I feel like it's a tradition for Disney live action remakes that they would have terrible CG because a lot of them is just awful. I mean, you got the dwarves from Snow White, you got like the weird animals and the Little Mermaid. Like it's very rare that they would get it right. It's like at least with Stitch, it's like okay, it's just a realistic looking Stitch, but at least like they got that right. At least he looks fine. But the like stuff like this, however, like freaking Hey Hey, it's just oh god no. Oh boy. Honestly, it just tells me brace yourself when Tamatoa comes.
God, it's gonna be a rough ride. I'm telling you right now too. I think it's funny with this film. I'm just wondering what the change is going to be because they always got to change something. They don't want to. Disney knows enough about their market audience where they deliver the exact experience, they'll get angry. But they always change something small that seems unimportant. With Snow White, they changed a little too much. I get people that was controversial. But with Lilo and Stitch, like you said, was the ending. It was it was the whole thing with Jumba. Moving my favorite whale alien from the movie was a big one for me. They straight washed it. I'm kidding. But the point is, they got to change something. And I'm wondering what element of Moana in the last 10 years has become a spicy enough topic where Disney's like, oh no, I don't think we should touch this anymore, and like change it in a way that's completely undermines the messaging of the original film. I will say this, like in regards to bad CG, why couldn't they just have a chicken? Like, just have a real chicken. Like, Babe, 30 years ago, did talking animals so much better with a mix of CGI, puppetry, and real animals. And it's a chicken. Like, it's just a chicken. You could do that. We've made chickens before in films, even CGI ones, and it worked out pretty well. Like, I just got to question the mentality with this. Like, why make it... I know it's close to what the animation was, but you don't have to make it exactly like the cartoon. You can just put a real chicken in there. Like, that's a thing you can do. If Dr. Dolittle from the 90s could do it, then I think I assume Disney with like all their money could do it well too. It's just one of those things where it's like the problems I have with it is that none of it tried to adapt anything. They tried to duplicate it. And when both are made in a computer, all you got to do is just bring the same, carry the models from the other one over, just touch them up or something. And then there you go. That's all you got to do. But I'm just saying, and I see people saying, oh, PETA, but like, okay, then make a chicken that looks like a chicken, like make a puppet. You can do that. We did puppets back in the day. And I'll tell you this, it's cheaper than rendering on a computer, a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure Jim Henson will be happy to go and get the job. Like, ask them to go and, like, do something for them. I mean, I don't see why not.
It's telling that the effects in... I was just doing research on this because it was like... it's 10 years ago this came out. The Force Awakens, Star Wars.
Yeah.
The effects for the aliens in Force Awakens 10 years ago looks better than the animal effects in this movie. And that was 10 years ago. And you know what they did? Puppetry. They used, they knew what, they decided deliberately to have physical, real puppets. And we're like, okay, how are we going to mix this into the shot? They thought about it. They were considering the means through which they communicated the ideas on screen. And this seems like they just slapped it together.
Yeah. So honestly, that, like, for me overall, I just gotta say that with the teaser that we got, obviously I'm not that impressed, and honestly, I just got the same reaction compared to what I got from the How to Train Your Dragon remake. I'm just concerned if we're just going to be getting the exact same thing, except now it's just going to be with live action people and with soulless CG replacing the classic characters. So so it's not like, for me, it's not giving out a good first impression. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe some of the sets look nice, and like the girl singing the reprise of How Far I'll Go, that is pretty good, but Like, if it's just going to give me the same experience as the original Moana, if they're not going to be willing to take the risk to try some new things, then at that point, it's just like, why even? You know, it's just like, I'm just overall, I'm just not really excited to see if like they're just going to do the same thing, but with a lesser product, just like with How to Train Your Dragon.
Exactly. And I feel for the actors involved, like they're all going to be, you know, unfortunately, they're probably going to be under a lot of scrutiny. Comparing, you know, anyone who is new to the cast is going to be like under heavy scrutiny. I can't even find like a Wikipedia article about the actress playing Moana right here. That tells me it's going to be, because it's like, again, like all the stuff like with Rachel Zegler, she was under like a microscope. You know, everything she did, everything she said. I wonder if Disney PR is going to have like very few opportunities for the actors to talk to the press after that, because I wonder if that's going to be a factor as well. And I'm just thinking from the public. But again, this is a concern with my channel because my channel always reacts to like reactionaries online and stuff like that, and looks like how they engage with everything. I wonder if, I hope that this is not the case, but I worry that the actress playing Moana is going to be like harangued by you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do understand the concern. I mean, I've had the same concern with the little girl who played Lilo in the Lilo and Stitch remake. I mean, like, she was like critics have all agreed that she was easily the best part and like one of the best castings you would find in a live action remake. But considering the scrutiny and the hate that the Lilo and Stitch remake has gotten, it made me concerned if there would be people who would go that extra mile to go after her as well. So yeah, there is kind of the general base of the fact that yes, this is a live action remake. So that alone is already that would already give it a lot of hate. But then again, like even when looking at the chat wall, a lot of people are mainly talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So if anything, I feel like with whichever actors are going to be there, a lot of the spotlight is mainly going to be on Dwayne Johnson, considering he is the biggest name. And like, as people would say, he is the one who is like largely responsible to why we even have this in the first place, considering that Dwayne Johnson is also a prominent producer. This is like the Moana remake is a collaboration between Disney and $7 Productions.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can tell you this: it won't be the worst CG in a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson production. I think The Mummy Returns still has the the reigning champion of bad effects in a rock film.
Yes, for sure.
You hard to beat that one. That's kind of like the pinnacle. And it probably won't be the worst rock film either, because Black Adam exists, so we'll be okay. You know.
Yeah, that is fair.
But I'm not optimistic about this one. I'll just be blunt about it.
Nah, I understand. I'm the same. So with all that said, folks, now it's time we'll go and ask the chat wall, what do you all think of the live action remake of Moana? Did you guys disagree with us and you actually do enjoy it? Or are you guys on our side and you're mostly concerned with what may come? Let me know what you all think. All right, let's see now. I'll go and start with all right, here we go. I always had a theory that all these live action remakes are just meant to be more mature alternative for teens and adults to watch the exact same movie, but without the embarrassment of watching an animated kids movie. But the fact that they're now going into the Gus Van Sant psycho territory of being shot for shot, it just makes it all the more pointless. If this is The Rock's idea of a backup after the failure of Black Adam, I'd honestly rather have a sequel to Planet 51. Ooh, boy. That's a throwback right there. Let's see. I mean, what do you want me to say? It looks like a live action remake. The visual effects, pretty rough. Hey looks like a demon. Get Huntrix on his ass. The story, exactly the same. It's a live action remake of Moana. You get what you pay for. And keep in mind, I didn't mind the Snow White remake, but that one at least did things different. This, however, what can I say except I hate this? Honestly, I feel like in the future on social media, we're gonna see plenty of that gif of that, but it's like the one where Maui is dancing and says, "What can I say except," and then he holds a gun, "Delete this."
I'm surprised it doesn't exist more often. I would use that reaction gif in like in videos, even if I had that. It actually gives me some ideas. I'll have to talk to my editors about some stuff that might weave into the next little thing I'm working on with that visual.
Oh yeah, that thing's a lot of fun. Let's see. As someone who hasn't seen the original Moana, although I've been interested in seeing it, even I agree that this is unnecessary. I'm not surprised that Disney wanted to do a live action remake of this, but by looking at this, it just looks like it's trying to do the same story, but in live action. And also, why does Hey Hey look off? So overall, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of agrees Hey Hey looks like a demon from the grips of hell, so it all works out.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the problem, that when you're taking a cartoony design and you're trying to add like so many live action textures, trying to make it look realistic, it's just no. It's just an amalgamation of a monster that you end up creating. Okay, let's see. What can I say except hell no? I really like the original Moana, and I'm not interested in this. While some of the visuals look decent, it looks no different than any other remakes where it makes no changes whatsoever. Seriously, the original movie is only about a decade old, so I'm not excited for this. Although what I'm looking forward to is the rants that will happen in the next several months. I'm starting to hate people continuously ranting about these remakes more so than the actual remakes. Yeah, like, it is true that we'll end up seeing the same song and dance number on the internet.
Yeah, it feels like we'll go. I can already predict the next wave of reviews before it even comes out. Like, you know what they're going to say exactly.
Yeah.
Better or worse.
Yeah, it's almost like they're live action remakes in themselves.
Yeah, actually.
All right. I'm sure the girl playing Moana will do good. I just wish this movie wasn't so identical. I'd rather they just do something different than just shot for shot. I actually hate the live action remakes based on CGI movies than the ones based on 2D movies. At least with the 2D to live action transition, there's a novelty to add details like texture to clothing or hair and movements that would be harder to animate in 2D. CGI live action remakes are even more redundant. At least Snow White tried to do something different.
Certainly did try to do something different. No one will argue with you on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it worked, who knows? But
for me,
it was different.
Honestly, I wasn't even that big of a fan of some of the changes because then it just slowly morphs into a live action remake of Wish. So, but then again, it's like, well, at least it's not the same as Snow White, I guess.
But you know, like, Snow White's a tough story to crack. You know, like, to make any deviations to it. It is so married to the original fairy tale structure.
Yeah,
there's a really good video I saw a while back from the YouTuber Neuralities that went into detail about the history of Sleeping Beauty and its iterations over time. And you know, in the video they're talking about like, oh, you know, Snow White is a story that's really honed in on a specific formula to it, and I don't disagree. It's one of those ones that it's almost thankless to adapt, because if you make any change at all, it takes away from the basic structure of the story. Whereas something like Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast or even Little Mermaid, there's a little more wiggle room there, I think, to make some innovations and still, you know, I'm going off on a tangent now. I'll stop myself.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So with all that said, for those of you who are morbidly curious to see the Moana remake, keep in mind that it shall be coming out on July 10th of next year. So with that said, we're going to go on to our first break. And when we return, Ant is going to go and pick the next trailer that we're going to go and check out. Which one will that be? Well, not even I know, so stay tuned for that. All right, we are back. Now, we will have a little bit of a longer break, considering that Ant right now is just going out to get another cup of coffee. So what he said at the beginning, well, yeah, he ain't kidding. He's still trying to go and get his rounds of coffee going on. So yeah, so if you want proof, like, dude ain't here. So we're just waiting a little bit of a while. So we only have 3 trailers left to go and see. So again, I want to stay true to having Ant go and decide which one will be the next one. But by the way, chat, in the meantime, you could go and express what would be the next one you want to see among the 3 left that we have. So let's see what else you guys would like to go and see. Mario, SpongeBob. Okay, so so it looks like a bit of a tie between Mario and SpongeBob. And then we got the one, suddenly Toy Story 5 is suddenly coming back. Okay, well, this is actually a lot harder than I thought, considering we're getting some mixed results here, but all right. You know, the funny thing is that now I feel like, recently I just did a review of In Your Dreams, so now I'm in that same position as Baloney Tony, just like in the middle of there, like, so, you guys seen any good movies? Any good movie? Any movies on there? Did I miss your birthday? Oh boy, you'll know my thoughts on it when I'll be releasing the review later this week, just to let you know. Oh boy, the toy Bob Mario Pants story. All of them at once. All right. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. He's back.
I've returned.
Hey, dude.
Here we go. This will come into play later on. Oh, here we go.
All right.
And I have a gag coming that will come into play later on. Don't worry.
I see. Right.
No, don't worry. It'll be relevant later on. Don't worry about it. I need more coffee first.
Fair enough.
When you have a newborn child who wakes you up at 3 a.m. in the morning to use the bathroom, you yourself will require more coffee than is humanly consumable.
Okay, that is fair. I'll take your word for it. Now we got another trailer to go and check out. And what's the next one you would like to go and see?
Well, I'm trying to wait for my gag to come into play. Well, I'll wait till you forget I brought it with me to make it. So let's jump into Toy Story 5, I think is a good one. All
right, keeping with the Disney theme then. All right,
yep.
With that said, our next trailer, we might as well jump from one summer Disney movie of 2026 to the other. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the teaser trailer for the upcoming Pixar sequel, Toy Story 5. And that is Toy Story 5, to which the movie is going to be coming out on June 19th. So, Ant, what did you think of that trailer of Toy Story 5?
It could be good. It might not. It's not much to say yet. I'll be honest with you. With Toy Story, I feel like 3 was such a perfect ending. Like, for me personally, everything after 3 is like extra. Like, for me, I like 4 as an epilogue. It's a good next chapter after the end. I don't know how I feel yet about 5, conceptually, because obviously it's a story about the conflict between traditional toys and play style versus the modern age of technology and screens. And you can probably and knowing Toy Story, the message is never as obvious as you at first think it is. There's always a little element to it about that deals with growing up, maturity. I just hope it's not going to be a boring one where it's like, old toys are good, tech is great too, balance is valuable. I hope it's like something a little more meaty, a little more meaningful. It's something we haven't seen yet 100 times before in the past. It's probably going to be fine. Nothing about it looked particularly bad, but nothing also looked particularly exciting about it either. It's very much the exact trailer I'd expect from the concept that we heard about with, a D23 and all the concept art that was shown. Nothing. I didn't see anything there that made me go, okay, this is going to be something exciting. It's going to be something different. And what stinks is it's Toy Story. Toy Story should make you excited for something unique and different. You know,
Mhm.
Toy Story has always been the innovator in animation. From the first film, it was an innovation. It was distinct. It was unlike anything else around. So, in every Toy Story film, it left you with a sense of, okay, there's something here to discuss. You know, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, even Toy Story 4, as many people were like belly aching about it, it still left you going, okay, what's going on here? What are they doing with this one? I have yet to see like a character yet who like stands out to me. That's new. I have yet to see an idea that feels fresh from this trailer and from the concept art. And something about it, I don't know. I want to be excited for it, but so far I'm feeling very like, yeah, I'll watch it. You know, I'll watch it when I get the chance. It'll probably make a lot of money, but I just don't feel as excited about this one as I do a certain other project we'll discuss later on in this this series of discussions. But so far, it's a very by the numbers, very safe advertisement for a franchise that at this point is known for innovation.
Yeah, I do understand where you're coming from. And I'll just say, like, on my side, like, as you guys probably know, I love the Toy Story movies. And this is going to be a hot take, and well, even though people already know this, but I honestly love Toy Story 4. I love it as much as the other films. Is it unnecessary? Yes. But the craftsmanship that they put in and really going into the psychological depth of Woody, like at that, like in that stage of his life as a toy, is just very fascinating. And really, there's really a lot of heart that was put into it. So, like, honestly, the fact that they crafted an unnecessary movie so well, I feel like is something that's worth applauded for. And honestly, there is a part of me that is cautiously optimistic to see what is in store with Toy Story 5. But with that said, yes, I do understand the arguments of how a fifth movie is kind of unnecessary. Like, now we're really getting into unnecessary territory. It's very much like, now we're entering into the realms of like Ice Age and The Land Before Time. Now there's like more sequels than we honestly really need. And with the teaser trailer that we got here, it is a bit underwhelming that they're just only showing just the idea of toys versus tech, and that's it. Like, I know that's a prominent theme, but I was hoping to see a lot more because they, like, from what we know and what's been said about it, there is a lot in this movie that they mentioned that there's going to be so much worth exploring, and that might actually really spice up the sequel to be like a lot more than what it is. Like, for example, they didn't show any of the other villains, which is the 50 malfunction Buzz Lightyears. So, like, apparently that's going to be playing a major role. And also, they didn't mention how Woody came back, because like on social media you'll see like a lot of gags. People would go and say like somehow Woody returned, and honestly that's one thing I want to see. Like, how did Woody come back to the gang of toys after he decided to go and leave them at the end of 4? But also, what I'm really curious to see is the fact that technically they say that this movie's main character is not going to be either Woody or Buzz, but Jesse. And yeah, that's the thing that I kind of felt underwhelmed with this teaser trailer, is the fact that they didn't show any of that. They don't highlight how Jesse is a main character. They don't highlight how all the malfunctioned Buzz Lightyears are going to be villains. They don't highlight how did Woody somehow return. I mean, I get it. This is a teaser trailer. That's what it's supposed to do. And I even talked to a friend, and he mentioned to me that he hopes that this is one of those teasers that those clips that we have seen, they only exist for the teaser. They're not actually part of the real movie in itself. But still, like, I feel like it, oddly enough, didn't show us enough of it. You know, like, it only presents us with what we already know. Oh, and by the way, just a quick side note. Sorry to interrupt, but just a quick side note, by the way. One thing that I will say that maybe I disagree with you on is that it doesn't build up a lot of hype, because it is worth noting that this trailer in particular did manage to break some records, or at least be among those that are record breaking, because I'm just going to go and read you here from my source on Deadline, to which it actually states here, Toy Story, which opens in the traditional Pixar stomping ground of Father's Day weekend, which is June 19th, of course, generated 142 million views in the first 24 hours of its trailer drop, landing it above first content drops from other animated films, including Despicable Me 4, Kung Fu Panda 4, and the Super Mario Galaxy movie. From a views perspective, Instagram drove the most at 47 million, followed by TikTok at 37 million. In addition, the launch sparked over 142,000 social mentions across all platforms, in the upper tier of our comps, with the film and related characters rising to number 2 and number 3 on Twitter's search charts. So just thought I would go and quickly mention that, even though, it doesn't necessarily bring up a lot of intrigue and hype in terms of the subjects of what will be in it, it did manage to get a lot of attention.
This is gonna make a ton of money. You kidding? This movie's gonna make a lot of money. That's not the question. I never had that in doubt. The question is innovation, not necessarily popularity. But I agree with you. It's gonna make a lot of money. It's Toy Story. This thing prints money, unless it's Buzz Lightyear on his own, I guess. But that's beside the point. I think for me, the angle with Jessie as the main character is what has me the most excited, because what you're gonna get that I think is kind of cool. Jessie has this abandonment issue, right? You know, she in Toy Story 2, we found out how her story being abandoned by her owner. This is like every trigger she has coming back again. The new flashy thing replacing the old thing. There's a lot you can do with that. I think there's a lot of ideas that can be really cleverly incorporated there. That's why I have hope that there are these. And again, it's a teaser. You know, it's not meant to be a full blown trailer. It's meant to make. It's really just meant to tell you, hey, the movie exists. But and I see people in comments saying too, like, oh, it's a teaser. What do you expect? Well, one of the all-time greatest trailers of all time is a teaser that shows you nothing from the movie but tells you everything you need to know. And that's the teaser for Alien from 1979 or 78. Amazing trailer. Shows you nothing, but you know exactly what kind of movie it is going in, and you know you have to see it. It is an Alien. Romulus recently did the same thing. Showed you nothing about the movie in its teaser. Didn't tell you who the characters were. Didn't tell you about the ideas of the young characters trying to escape a capitalist hellhole and ending up stuck in another capitalist hellhole with powers being experimented on beyond their wildest dreams. It just showed you aliens, you know, that was all it showed you, but that was just enough to get you like, okay, what's going on here? You know, I feel with Toy Story 5, the teaser felt very safe, and the elements that I think are the most intriguing weren't really communicated all that well based on what I've heard so far. But again, it's Toy Story. It prints money. They'll be fine.
Or I want to bring up another example, like with all those teasers, but probably one of the best ones I could think of, the early Pixar films. Like there was a time when, like, in a way, their teasers back then, like with the Incredibles or with WALL-E or with Ratatouille, they used to be like their own little cartoons in a sense, where they show you, and like they provide like animation that doesn't even show up in the actual movie itself. Like it shows nothing from the actual film, but it tells you everything of what's going to be in store.
Yeah. Well, another example of the early Ice Age trailers. You know what they showed the little rat with his acorn. That was it. They didn't show you anything. Just that. And that was enough to get your attention because it was its own kind of self-contained little thing.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is I'm actually working on a video about Blue Sky and Ice Age. And like the funny thing is that what they do is kind of like similar to The Lion King, where they literally just took one of the little moments with Strat from the movie, and they just use that as the trailer, and that's it.
That's all you need. I think also back to a lot of the Well, not really teasers. It was more like mini featurettes that used to be on back when VHS tapes were a thing, and you had the commercials. Every Disney movie would have at the beginning like a little featurette for the next film coming out, whatever that was, and it'd show like, oh, you're already watching Mulan. Well, here's a first look at Tarzan, whatever. Oh, you're looking at Lion King. Here's Pocahontas, our next film. This, that, and the other. And they'd show like these production sketches, and they'd talk to like the directors, and they'd show like little art things, and be like a minute-long little teaser. And that got me more hyped for these movies as a kid than like, and granted, as a kid, there's a little nostalgia get going in, but that was like very easy to get your attention, very informative, and told you nothing about what the film actually had in it, while communicating to the audience everything the film was about. I just want to go and mention that. It's quite a coincidence because very recently, I just looked at the Wildwood trailer, Like Us Next Movie, and they kind of put up this first look teaser thing that's very similar. It just talks about one of the characters, not necessarily the main character, but it's very much like that old style Disney trailer back in the 1990s, where a lot of it is just highlighting the hard work that the animators at Leica would do behind the scenes and showing like some first clips. Like it was legit the first time that we would see anything from the actual movie itself. So it kind of counts as a trailer. It does, yeah. And less is more. A lot of trailers, they show too much. That's the other thing, too. Like, we can't show too much in a teaser. It's a teaser. You show too much, it spoils it, And that's the catch-22. It's a balancing act. It always is. Always has been. But it's tough,
Yeah. I guess the whole problem with this is that I get that it's a teaser, but I think it held back a little bit too much. Like you're taking one of the core concepts of it. And I mean, I'll give it is an interesting idea to go and highlight on for a Toy Story movie, but there's still a lot more that like we kind of want to see. It's like at least provide us with one of the extra things. Like show us that, and maybe just give us a tiny taste of like how Jessie is going to be in the movie, or how we see Woody coming back, or how are the malfunction Buzz Lightyears going to come into play.
Yeah, something. We just need something small, like something. I think what it needed was to not be structured around a build up to a, it builds to an anticlimax. I think that's the big issue. It builds to the anticlimax of it being a piece of tech that's the build-up to be what's being so frightening. And once you see that, you're like, oh, I know what this movie's about. It needs to be something a little more unexpected, something that's... Yeah. Because once you see that, you're like, oh, I know what this film's all about already. And even if it's not that, the fact that they set that up already puts like a sense in the audience of, oh, I've seen this before. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how many people see the trailer. It matters how many people who saw the trailer then want to see the movie. Batman v Superman had a ton of views, way more than this even, I think. And that didn't get as much money as films that got far fewer views in their first trailer. Or
I want to bring up a recent example, the new Running Man movie. Like a lot of people, they were very intrigued with what they saw in the trailer, and look at what happened right now at the box office. It didn't do so great, and even the reviews weren't really that strong.
Yeah, no, it's that's disappointing. I haven't seen Running Man yet. So Predator Badlands, that was pretty awesome, but Running Man, I'm like, I don't know, something about that. It's very disappointing because you have everything about it should be like perfect. But it just didn't, I guess it didn't come together as well as it could have. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say for sure. But just based on what I've heard, I'm like a little disappointed.
Yeah, that is fair. So I guess overall with the Toy Story, with Toy Story 5, like there's still more to come. We can't immediately judge it yet, but I will say there is one positive note to go from all this. At least we're reacting more positively than with the Moana trailer.
Yes. 100% yes.
All right.
So it's just way better than that. That's what I'm more excited for from Disney next summer than Moana. I'll be honest with you.
Absolutely. That and Hoppers. Like, I'm surprised we haven't even gotten a full trailer of that yet.
I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't hear much about that till it comes out. I feel like Disney thinks of it as their B movie, you know? Like
Maybe.
I don't know. So, I don't know. Who knows? I hope I'm wrong. I hope it gets the attention it needs because, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So with that said, let's now go on to the chat wall. And I want to go and ask you all, what did you think of the Toy Story 5 teaser? Did that actually make you excited to go see the movie? Do you guys have any additional questions? Do you have some things that you feel conflicted about what you just saw? Let me know what you all think. All right. So I'm pretty curious in this sequel. I understand if some people aren't interested, considering it's a Toy Story 5. Considering this is Andrew Stanton directing the movie, I have trust. My concern, though, is how they're going to establish Woody's return and the Buzz clones connected with the story. Be prepared for Toby Fox jokes on social media with "you got a friend inside me" memes. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is it. The end of playtime as we know it. Seeing the toys' terrifying expressions really shows the threats that AI is going to take over. Oh, wait, that's a pretty clever allegory in the film that it's clearly doing. I think it's the best way to do a Toy Story 5 just by adding a toy tablet as a villain. Knowing Andrew Stanton, and I've had a pretty cool small conversation with him at last year's D23, he's going to absolutely nail this. You know, that is an interesting perspective that it's not just toys versus tech, but it's like, the classic ways versus AI also.
Which itself is very weighty considering Disney's current actions.
Yeah, there is that irony.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, well, not just Disney, but then again, we'll save our discussion for later. Let's see.
Yeah.
There's not much else on the teaser other than we saw the first showing as Lily Pad, as well as Woody without his badge, meaning that Jesse is still the leader, but hopefully there will be more, and I have more confidence that Andrew Stanton can bring us more now that he's a director and writer of this film. And what a coincidence that it will be the 30th anniversary of the first movie. Yeah, actually this month is going to be the 30th anniversary. Dang. The funny thing is I remember watching, like, as a child, I remember seeing that on the big screen. Let's see. All right. This is fine. I'm just curious about what the contrivance to bring Woody back will be. That he got tired of running around the forest in a post-COVID world where no responsibility or no responsible adult would let their child pick up random toys off the street. I feel like talking about iPad kids are an issue worth depicting, but I feel like it won't really hit any of the needed audience compared to 3. Also, the malfunctioning buzzes sounds like it'll be something from the recall Buzz story from 3. Or is it 3 or 2? Or I don't know.
I think like 2 has the Buzz, and 2 has 3 has Spanish mode. With Buzz and,
right.
Yeah. And then 2 has the shopping mall, the toy store with all the toys.
The mall filled with Buzz Lightyears.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I still really don't know how to feel about this movie. Even as someone who actually loved Toy Story 4, like Anthony said, I'm still hoping it'll be that it's gonna do more than just the same technology bad message that stuff like Mitchell's vs. the Machines did. I'm personally looking forward to Hoppers a lot more, but hopefully it won't be a letdown. Yeah, that is fair. I think I'll read one more comment and then we'll go on to our break.
Yeah.
I had my skepticism for this, but after this teaser, this could be pretty interesting. The animation is still really good. The concept of the toys being obsolete is pretty intriguing. And while this trailer doesn't show off that the fact Jessie is the lead is great, she was a great lead in Toy Story of Terror. This will be a decent watch, but I do have to ask, if they're bringing in iPads, is the movie gonna reference brain rot? Because I'm sure the universe is ready for Skibbity Forky.
I want to see the Elsa Spider-Man videos.
Actually,
Disney can do it. They can legally do it.
Oh, they can. They have the rights. That would be interesting though. Like maybe if there would be like the Toy Story equivalent of something like Coco Melon or like those kinds of brain, what people consider to be brain rot, if that will actually appear in this to add on to the commentary. That would be interesting.
Can I throw one more thing I just thought of too about Toy Story that just occurred to me just now?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a damn shame that Brad Dourif has never played a character in a Toy Story movie.
Yeah,
because I kind of wish that he would show up and just like, in case for anyone in chat who doesn't know who Brad Dourif is, he's very faithfully played in another long-running film franchise about toys that come to life since like 87, 88. Yeah. And I would listen. I'm not saying Chucky should show up in Toy Story, but it'd be very funny if Chucky showed up in Toy Story.
Yeah, I mean, just have a Toy Story has a whole bunch of cameos. Even in the fifth one, they said that Conan O'Brien is going to be making an appearance. So honestly, I don't, and not to mention, even in the fourth film, like you got all these comedy legends that also made a cameo, like Mel Brooks, for example. So I don't see why not actually have him come in, play like some kind of maniacal toy, like just for a fun cameo.
Yeah, it'd be so much fun. Like, I mean, I'm granted the kids probably wouldn't get it, but the parents would, so it'd just be funny for that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. So yeah, I will say it's even I'm surprised to see that the reactions, while not very positive, not like full on hype, there is some optimism that is going on with this. So once again, just to go and say that if you are interested in checking out Toy Story 5, then keep in mind that the movie shall be coming out on June 19th of next year. So we're going to go on to our next break, and when we come back, we're already halfway through these trailers. Now we're going to go and see one of the other half. All right, welcome back. So now we got 2 trailers down, and now it's time for a third one. So, this is interesting because at this point, it's not just which one do you want to pick next, but which one you also want to save last. So which one do you want to do now, and which one you want to go and save for later?
Well, there's 2 options. We can go for the one that everyone wants to talk about, the sequel is one of the most popular films of the last several years, or we can go with Pirate Slop. And I think I will go with Pirate Slop today. Let's do SpongeBob next.
All right, so I guess we're going to take a little break from the 2026 movies, and now we're going to check out a film that's going to be coming out at the end of this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the trailer, not the teaser, a full-on trailer for the upcoming Nickelodeon movie, The SpongeBob Movie: Search for SquarePants.
Long ago, one sailor fell under a wicked curse. The only way to lift this curse is
The SpongeBob Movie: Search for SquarePants. See it in 3D.
SpongeBob big guy pants okay. SpongeBob
Only in theaters December 19th.
So you heard the trailer. The SpongeBob Movie: Search for SquarePants is going to be coming out on December 19th. So, Ant, what did you think of this one here?
Well, it exists. It is a film that you can watch eventually. I have no strong opinions on this one. I feel like it's going to be like absolute slop. This is such a nothing of a movie, and I'm kind of intrigued by how I feel like this was an episode of the show. Like there's at least a few Dutchman episodes where it's like they have some curse, you gotta go on the Dutchman ship. And it just feels like they're getting you excited for a story they already told. I guess also by that same metric, the first SpongeBob movie was also basically a longer episode of the show. But it feels like you already know most of the gags. It's not going to be particularly funny based on this trailer. The shitting a brick joke did make me smirk a little bit. I will give them that. That's decent. But like a kid's not going to get that joke, and it's clear the audience is very young kids. Like the last several SpongeBob films, because most of them have not been that great. You want to talk about a series that's had a lot of movie sequels, especially after the creator's tragic passing. SpongeBob has been like milked by Paramount for like the last several like years, and I personally can't say many of them are super good, but I will admit, it might be fun for kids. I, as an adult, can't get excited, but I'm sure if I showed my son this when he's more aware, he'd probably like it. My son's also, less than 2 months old, so I'm not sure if that's a ringing endorsement of the film. It just feels like this is more of a sign how much SpongeBob's fallen off since like I think the end of the first movie really was when the descent started to begin. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, how hard would it be to make a Pirates of the Caribbean parody? Like, I know like Pirates of the Caribbean's like much older, but like something in that style where it is like kind of more adventurous, kind of more exploratory. I feel like all the sets we're seeing in this trailer, like at least with like the later movies, they had like the Keanu Reeves, tumbleweed or something like distinct like that stands out. I also don't love the animation. Like it looks like it looks cheap. I know the shading is pretty good, I guess, but like it looks very much like it doesn't look like it's a movie quality animation. It looks very much like television plus level animation. Especially considering what we're getting in terms of animation in terms of movies. Like you look at again, you look at Spider-Verse, you look at Last Wish, Push the Boots, you look at even Predator Killer of Killers that came out recently. And there's a lot of creativity going into like modern animation with CG and how to make it look distinct, how to make it look like it was illustrated by hand. And I feel like this goes instead of for maybe like copying the animations, the classic animation style while also being computer generated. It feels very, or even TMNT, the new TMNT movie. And it was also a Paramount film. I feel like it just doesn't feel like it's a big effort from Paramount. And given like Paramount has had some really good animated films the last couple of years, given like Transformers 1, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, we're taking established franchises and bringing them back in big ways. Not always successful ways financially, but very creatively. And I feel like with this film, it is very safe. But unlike Toy Story 5, where it looks safe in a way where I'm like, I'm still interested because I have goodwill with the franchise, SpongeBob needs something really good to get older audiences on board. And I think kids it's not as relevant to kids as it was, even like 10 years ago. So it needs to get them on board too. So it's like, it just feels like more fuel for the machine. And especially given that they've been churning out these movies like rapid fire the last couple of years with like the Sandy Cheeks movie, the Plankton movie and all that. It's like, it just feels like we're getting more of the same. And I can't muster too much excitement for it beyond pirate jokes with this little flag in here.
No, I understand exactly what you mean, and I actually agree with you. There, like when I went and watched this, like I only checked it out this morning just to go and prep up for this, and there's just so much of it that, like, even though I was a SpongeBob fan as a kid, and like I've been following some of the SpongeBob, at least in terms of the movies, but like watching this one, I can't really feel that excited for it because, as you said, there's just so much of it that I feel like, why does this have to be a movie when this could easily be a TV show? And not to mention how they would go and recycle some plot lines, like even with SpongeBob and Patrick joining the Flying Dutchman as his crew. Like that felt like it was already done before. Or there's even one time in the trailer that I feel like it's worth pointing out, is that it feels like they're also taking elements from the third movie where like you got SpongeBob and Patrick, whom they're going on their own adventure, But then suddenly you got another plot line with Mr. Krabs and Squidward, where they would go and they're kind of on their own adventure to try to search for SpongeBob and Patrick in order to get them back. Which, again, the third movie already went and did this. Like, I've already seen that before with Sponge on the Run. So it really feels like they're just taking a lot of recycled materials and they're just, rehashing them again and again for their movies. And to go and comment what you mentioned on the animation, like, I do see, like, it does look among like the better animation that I've seen in the SpongeBob movie. I will say, like, I would take this over what they have done compared to like either Sponge on the Run or especially the Sandy Cheeks movie. But it does feel, but the quality of the animation feels like it's made more for Netflix more so than it would be for the big screen. But I guess like maybe the big reason why they're trying to make this a big theatrical deal is mainly because of the fact that they got Mark Hamill playing as the Flying Dutchman, which that in itself, like I've already talked about this before, but is already a bit controversial among SpongeBob fans, where they completely recasted the Flying Dutchman to have him now be played as a celebrity, rather it be like just have him as the voice, or even also be him in live action. Which, I mean, I'm not going to question Mark Hamill like with the choice of having him on board. I'm sure he's going to do an amazing performance, but it's just the casting in itself is going to raise a lot of questions.
Yeah. As much as I love a Lex Luthor Joker reunion movie, I don't know how much of a draw Mark Hamill is as a theatrical, because he is such a he's been on TV, he's been in games. Like, is that like I know when Keanu Reeves shows up, that's a celebrity draw, but like, is Mark Hamill really like a get butts in theaters draw outside of Star Wars or Batman? Like, I don't know if he's like, I don't know if that needs to be a theatrical film just because that casting choice. And I don't like the cast. I mean, I love Mark Hamill. He's great. But like, I don't love how like we have to take the role from established voice actors of roles just for that. That to me feels a little slimy, and it feels like a slap in the face for the people who helped make the show what it is for decades. I don't know. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong, Mark Hamill and Long Walk. People say in comments, yeah, Long Walk's fantastic. Mark Hamill's great in The Long Walk. Don't get me wrong, Mark Hamill's a great actor, but is he like a commercial draw? Is what I'm getting at. Like a marquee value draw.
Well, I mean, in defense of Mark Hamill, like ever since the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, his popularity and like his career really got a significant boost, where he did show up more and more often. Maybe not as like a top billing actor, like, oh my God, starring Mark Hamill, but like he has been showing up a lot more in movies lately, both in animation and live action. So it's like, I guess it's
one. What was the one that came out this summer with Tom Hiddleston? It was a Stephen King adaptation. It's the Mike Flanagan film. Mark Hamill's in it for a little bit, and so is like it's a bunch of actors in it. Like Life of Chuck. Life of Chuck.
Yes.
Yeah. Great movie right there. Underwatched, and he's in all the promotional material for it. And so is Tom Hiddleston, who's a pretty big actor too. So I just wonder, like, if the intentionality was a celebrity casting decision. I always wonder how effective it is from that standpoint. I think Mark Hamill will do a great job in the role, and is a great actor, and it would be very fun to watch him as the Dutchman. But I'm wondering how much of like even though he's been in a lot of things lately, is he really like your Robin Williams as the genie kind of draw? That's what I'm getting at. Like, is he really Eddie Murphy in Shrek?
Well, one thing you do also have to keep in mind, I get what you mean, but first and foremost, this is a SpongeBob movie. And it just clicked into my head that technically this is not the first time that they would go and do this. Like, you think about the second SpongeBob movie, a sponge out of water. And in that one, like the prominent celebrity that they have there was Antonio Banderas, where he played the main villain. And like he wasn't an animated character. It was always him as a live action actor. And like technically he would be the main celebrity draw. But then again, with these SpongeBob movies, it's not about the prominent celebrity. It's kind of like a bonus point because like, oh, SpongeBob is back on the big screen and we got a recognizable actor. But the thing is that in terms of marketing, that's just secondary because the main first and foremost thing is the fact that it's a SpongeBob movie. That's going to be the main thing that that they want audiences over for. And I guess, like, speaking of which, I feel like maybe they are self-aware, like the people at Paramount and Nickelodeon, they're probably self-aware that this won't be a major deal considering the release date. Like, keep in mind, this is coming out on December 19th, which will be at the same time as Avatar Fire and Ash. So, like, the thing is that they know they're not going to get the mass audiences to go and check that out because people will be distracted and will mostly be talking about Avatar. So from there, like, this is just to go and bring in the little kids to go and watch it. Like, those who are too young to go and check out Avatar, they just want to go and check out something like SpongeBob. So I think in that regards, like, with the marketing, it is a bit self-aware with what it's doing. Like, even in this, Mark Hamill was, like, you don't even see Mark Hamill's name be prominent. Like, it's more about SpongeBob than it is about the fact that they got Mark Hamill here.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah. Branding is front and center in this one. And it's a SpongeBob movie. It should be branding. You should be having the SpongeBob humor and all that. But I don't know. I don't like when you recast roles like this. So no, that rubs me the wrong way right there. So that right there throws me off a little bit. I don't like it. I like Mark Hamill. I think he'll be great. But you hear that voice coming out of that, even though it's close, you can tell. Even if you didn't know it was Mark Hamill, you can just tell something sounds a little off.
Yeah, no, I
but
understand.
Beyond that, you know.
Yeah, but
yeah, no.
The rest, though, I get it. Even for me, like, the only time that, like, got me a bit of a laugh is when Patrick was trying on the pants and, like, he keeps fumbling around. Like, that, I will say, the execution of that joke, like, there are a few moments that is cute. But other than that, though, yeah, it's just, there's so much of it that it's like, I won't say it's underwhelming. It's just, I felt emotionless when I watched it. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's just, I see it and it made me feel nothing. I don't think this is going to be horrible. I don't think this is going to be like the worst animated movie of the year in the levels of like the Smurfs movie that we got this summer. But at the same time, it doesn't look anything that's going to be highly memorable, even by like SpongeBob standards. It's just, it looks like just another SpongeBob episode that they decided to extend and give a bigger budget to so that it could come out on the big screen.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's when you go to a restaurant, right? Let's say a burger establishment of some kind, and you order the most expensive item on the menu, no refunds. And it comes back and all it is 2 buns with no meat in it.
Oh, dang.
There's nothing in it. It's just, it has a pretty presentation, but there's nothing in there. Nothing to bite into.
Oh, that's a good description there. So yeah, I think at this point there's not much else to really say because there's not much else in this trailer. It's weird because like even with the Disney ones that we have seen, like with Toy Story and Moana, it felt like we got more out of those teasers more than we did in this full trailer. Yeah,
well, because and I think the thing is because even though there was a teasers, they're event films. There's an event to them.
Yes.
Even Moana, it's still an event when it comes out. But SpongeBob has been so commodified by Paramount, it's no longer an event when there's a new SpongeBob thing. When the first SpongeBob movie came out, that was an event film. That was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
This one, whatever. That's the problem. They've commodified it too much. It just stinks. I feel there's more discussion to be had about the ethics around SpongeBob as a continuing franchise and what they're doing with it than there is about the film itself individually.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like there's much more to go and talk about with that than the actual movie, because like, okay, like even like regardless if you're like a longtime SpongeBob fan or even if you're like a newcomer, you look at that and it's like, all right, been there, done that. You know, it's another SpongeBob, you know, another animated kids movie, another family film. And that's exactly what it is. It's an it's an alternative for younger children who are still too young to check out Avatar. That's really all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with that said, now it's time we pass this on to the chat wall. And now I want to know what you all think about this. How do you feel about the SpongeBob movie trailer? Are you guys actually excited about this? Are you guys a bit underwhelmed by this? I would like to know what you think of what we just saw. All right, so in the subject of SpongeBob, now we're talking. Although considering how this was presented, I'll address that this is going to be okay, but not great. The jokes have moments, but are not hilarious, and the premise feels like Shanghai the movie. Well, the episode where SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward join the Flying Dutchman. But at least it's better than how Sandy's film went. And it does have some ideas that I think can be fun. Also, what about Hamill? I felt foresaw this, yet no one complained that King Neptune's voice was being replaced. Hope at best, hope for the best, and best of luck. Well, I would say in terms of King Neptune, I would argue that in the movie, they made a whole new character. It's not like they took the same one from the series voiced by John O'Hurley and then put it in the movie and then suddenly Jeffrey Tambor would voice him. No, they completely changed him up.
Yeah, it was so different. Even as a kid, that was jarring, though. Like, even in that movie, that was still a very jarring experience watching it. It works for the film, but when you watch the show, you know, every day, you know, you see the reruns, that threw me off a little bit when I was a kid. Even then, I'm like, okay, I'll roll with it, but I'm not sure I'm buying it yet. And then you see the movie, it works. But like in the average, I'm like, this doesn't look the same guy. What are we doing here? Different guy. Let's see what's going on here.
No, I felt the same way, honestly.
Yeah. Even as a kid, you're kind of like, hey, hang on a second. What's going on with this guy? What's going on with this film? You know, simple. Hey, it works. It works. It works. But, you know, unless there's a reason for it, it always feels a little weird. And the difference there is that Neptune was not as established to audiences then as the Flying Dutchman is now. Yes, that's the other thing too.
That is true. I mean, like back then, the SpongeBob movie, like SpongeBob was like what 5 years old when the first movie came out. Now it's like 25.
And even how many times did Neptune appear versus how many times the Flying Dutchman has appeared?
Yes.
You know, one's an infrequent character, the other appeared like every few episodes, you know, and multiple times. So it's like it's like changing Plankton's voice, you know, at a certain point. You're like, well, why are we tampering with something that's been so well established so frequently? Neptune shows up every like very rarely in the scheme of things compared to the other characters.
Yeah. Let's see here. To be honest, this trailer didn't impress me. While the animation looks decent and Mark Hamill as the Flying Dutchman is fine, the humor isn't great, and it just feels like it's recycling some episodes from the show. And honestly, I've just become fed up with the franchise and how Nickelodeon is milking it for all it's worth, and I'm getting franchise fatigue, and I think it just overstayed my welcome. Honestly, I'm more excited for the TMNT short that is being shown in front of it. Oh yeah, that is true. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that. Like, that short actually looks like it's going to be fun.
I know a few people who've seen it, and they've loved it. So that right there is, for me, more than the... I'll wait for that. I'll wait for that to come on separately. Honestly, I don't want to watch the problem is if you watch that short, the rest of the movie sucks by comparison. That's the problem, you know? They shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah. Short's done. No, I guess we can have walkouts from the theater after that. Conceivably.
Oh, true. That would be fun. Like, just buy a whole ticket just to watch the short, and then you're like, done. All right.
Well, that's what they used to do with back when Phantom Menace was coming out, Star Wars Phantom Menace, people would buy a ticket to movies that had the Phantom Menace trailer in it, watch the trailer, and then leave the theater. They just came to see the Phantom Menace trailer.
Actually,
and that was back. Yeah, that's pre-YouTube trailers online. That was like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna watch this trailer and we're good. Bye. What was this for? Titanic the fourth time?
Yo, dude, I just realized something. They might do this again in December. Like, I can imagine people might actually do that again, because keep in mind, the Avengers Doomsday trailer is going to be coming out with Avatar Fire and Ash, and they're not going to be uploading it on YouTube after a while. So I can imagine maybe some people might do that again.
I can see that, but with Avatar, at least, they're going to see the movie too. Like listen, I'm not an Avatar fan. I've made this clear multiple times. I'm not a big Avatar fan. Those movies are events.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, like when those come out, you go see it. Even though, like, I don't think the movies are particularly well written, they are an event in the theater. Like that's a movie that when you watch it on home media, you're like, this is whatever. But when you watch it in a theater, it's like, oh no, you're transported, especially in the IMAX. Like that is such a James Cameron knows what he's doing in terms of visual effects. Yeah. Storytelling, I'm not so sure, but visual effects, certainly.
Yeah, true. Let's see. Oh, hell now. SpongeBob took 40 Benadryls again. But yeah, I was sold on the first trailer. This one, not so much. While Mark Hamill sounds like he's having fun, the animation goes back and forth from being pretty good to kind of off. The Ice Spice song they plug in is genuinely terrible, and the comedy is really weak. Like, do we need all those shots of the Patoussi? I'll still see it for the TMNT short, but right now I am not impressed.
Well, listen, they know what the fans want, okay?
Do the fans want the Patoussi?
They're just delivering what the fans are asking for all these years.
Damn. What rating is this again?
Well, you're watching the censored version, the uncensored version. Whole mess,
Oh dear.
We'll get to that. An ice cream bar scene from the first movie. They top that in this one. You kidding?
Oh god.
Got some grog in those cups over on the Flying Dutchman. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh dang.
You ever have grog? It's not good. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
grog is an unpleasant beverage.
Oh damn.
It's just water. It is salty water and rum. That's all it is. It's not good.
Oh, geez, that doesn't sound pleasant. All right, I'll read one more comment here. Let's see. Oh, hell no. SpongeBob is using intestines as grass skirt. Jokes aside, I'm very iffy on this one. The animation looks okay. It stays true to the art style of the show, this time done by real effects. The problem is that it's not that much to me. It feels like another safe episode that kids can enjoy with. Hopefully Mr. Krabs' The Underworld doesn't cause a nuclear meltdown in theaters like with Minecraft. I would probably watch the new TMNT short. It's a nothing patty. All right, so there doesn't seem to be that much interest in the Search for SquarePants movie, but for those of you who are still curious to go and check it out, then keep in mind that the movie shall be released on December 19th. And we're going to go on to another break, but when we do come back, we got one more trailer, and this is the one that I know the chat wall is the most excited for, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, good. So I keep talking about my coffee addiction.
Yeah, so we are back, folks. Now, we got one more trailer to go and watch, and considering the one that we are about to see, and did you purposely save this one for last?
No, it's a complete coincidence. The one I'm most excited about was the last one to come out. Didn't plan it at all. It's amazing. It's a miracle, really, how the one I had the most things to say about were the ones that just happened to be last. It's crazy how that worked out.
I mean, yeah. Like, you got the power to go and choose the order of the trailers, and it just somehow falls into this.
Well, the way I see it, you got to leave something special to the end. You can't put it all in the beginning. You can't front load everything. So you gotta give them something special for the end.
All right. Well, I do completely understand. So I know with you people in the chat wall, you are the most excited to go and see us talk about this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the teaser trailer or the full-on trailer for the upcoming Illumination and Nintendo movie, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And that is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, to which it will be coming soon to theaters on April 3rd. And by the way, before I continue, I just want to go and add that this actually appeared with a little Nintendo Direct, in which not only was it to go and show the trailer, but it's to also go and reveal some new cast members that will be joining in which they've mentioned that Benny Sadfi, who appeared in Oppenheimer, as well as being the co-director of Uncut Gems, he will be playing as Bowser Jr., and Brie Larson has been announced to be Rosalina in the movie. So, Ant, how did you feel about what we just saw?
Well, there's no Danny DeVito as Wario, therefore 0 out of 10. I'm kidding. I think this is really cool. I'm really excited for this one. The first one, I have to admit, I did not expect anything from it. I thought it was going to be fun, but I'm thinking, okay, the cynical brain of seeing video game movies over and over again, like, okay, it's going to be Illumination, okay, whatever. Watch it was a great time. I thought the first one was really fun. Excited for the sequel. And this one is not disappointing me so far. I love the dynamic Bowser has in this whole trailer. That right there is great. I love the idea of him like trying to like just painting in his spare time and just being like, it plays into the Mario Sunshine angle of like Bowser Jr. painting everything and all that. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I like that aesthetic. Galaxy, I'm curious how they're going to fit Bowser into that. I guess he's going to escape and become the big bad alongside Bowser Jr. That'd be fun. I'm excited for Rosalina. I think she's one of my favorite, like, recent characters in Mario. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the only really, really big ones. I'm excited to see Brie Larson play her because I think, as an incentive, Brie Larson's a massive Mario fan. So, and has been for several years. It's not like I like Mario because I'm in the movie. No, she's been like committed to the bit for like over a decade now. So I think she's excited for this. I love that. I love that for her. I just want to see more Luigi. I want to see more Mario. I want to see more Bowser. I want to see more Peach. I want to see more Rosalina. I want to see more everyone. I'm excited. And even like and I've been hearing rumors too that they're going to make a Donkey Kong movie as well. Yeah. It's kind of like a side one. I'm fine with that because I like Donkey Kong in the visual movie too. But this movie right here, I have no notes. I'm just excited for this one. It gets my attention. It teases without showing too much. Everything we're talking about so far with teaser trailers applies to this. You can't show too much, but you can't show too little. You got to show enough to get people's attention. And this does just that. It shows you what you need to see to get you excited, but you don't know too much. You don't know what's going to happen in the plot. You know, a scene, Rosalina and Bowser Jr. are in it. And, the characters show up in some crazy exotic locations. And if the first film was anything to judge by, we've seen only a fraction of the imagination in this film, in this trailer. So I am really excited for this one. I think it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, for me, I will say that I really enjoyed the first Mario movie. But when it comes to the second one, I don't think it's going to turn out to be the best animated movie of the year. But at the same time, though, this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year because, like, with the Mario movie, and in a way with all Illumination films, they're more like crowd pleasers. They're not aiming to go and make like high forms of art, or they're not there to go and make cinema. They want to make stuff that people would go and enjoy, and they certainly nailed it with the Mario movie. And not to mention that, like, even though like it might sound a little bit of a harsh criticism, I will say like even as a feature on its own, the Mario movie is still pretty solid actually. It's still a lot of fun, and it's still a pretty well constructed and beautifully animated movie. So when it comes to this, I'm not going to go in thinking that this is going to be one of the best animated films of the year. I'm even open to the idea that Toy Story 5 might turn out to be a better movie than the Super Mario Galaxy movie. But I am still hyped up to see like all the Mario adaptations. Like we're pretty much gonna see a combination of Mario Sunshine with Bowser Jr. and his pained abilities. We're gonna see Mario Galaxy being like the prominent theme, and also some of the Mario Odyssey to also be involved, considering there's one level where we see Mario and Luigi on bikes, and they're going into this upside down pyramid, which is one of the levels that is presented in Odyssey. So just to see like the action, just the exhilaration, the fun, like to see Illumination adapt what we've seen in those games and suddenly bring that to life onto the movie, that's the part where I'm very much excited for. And not to mention, like, as you said, bringing in Brie Larson to play as Rosalina is on, like, it's one of those things that the more I think about it, the more that this is perfect casting. Like, number one, Brie Larson is already a very well established Oscar-winning actress. And also, she has a very prominent history with playing Nintendo games, being a full-on Nintendo geek. And there's that story going on that during the pandemic where she was with her boyfriend at the time, that she was obsessively playing Mario Galaxy to the point that her boyfriend tried to intervene, but then she kicked him out of the house so that she could play more Mario Galaxy. So it does perfectly.
I hope that's true.
Yeah.
I really hope that's true. That's a good story. I hope it's true.
So that does perfectly tie in with her ultimately playing as Rosalina. Now, one thing I will say, though, that when I heard that announcement, there was a part of me that was a little bit concerned, especially with how the internet is going to react. I was pretty much as worried as how people would react to Toy Story 5, where this is just going to be total reactionary bait and people are just going to go and like full on spread outrage like crazy for it. But so far, I will say, at least with the Rosalina casting, I'm not saying there hasn't been any negativity, and yes, there have been those grifters who try to go and like recapitalize on the Brie Larson hate like they tried to do years ago. But I will say it's been a little bit more positive than what we've seen with Toy Story 3, where her, like, especially with her background and I mean, with her acting skills, like she's definitely a perfect fit. And not to mention, another thing I want to go and add is the designs of these two characters. Like, they're like, even with the Mario movie characters, there's been a significant change with how they've updated characters like Peach or Mario, like to fit in that animated movie aesthetic or more the Illumination aesthetic. But when it comes to Rosalina and Bowser Jr., I was impressed that they decided to stay true to their original designs. Maybe not like entirely, but the look of them, like, they look fantastic, especially with Rosalina, who I mean, I love Rosalina, but how she looks in the movie, it's still like, oh my God, this right here is great. This is the Rosalina that we know from the Mario games. So they definitely nailed it, even with the designs.
Oh yeah. I think the one thing they could do that would make me happy is make her a little taller. But that's at that point, it's nitpicking. That's like a small nitpick. And even then, it's only because I think Rosalina should be like towering over like everyone else except for Bowser. Well, that's about it. Well, that's the only thing right there.
Okay, well, in the movie's defense, we have yet to actually see Rosalina compared to other characters. The most that we have seen is just her reading her story to the Lumas and that one little moment where she would take down one of the Mario Galaxy bosses. Like, the only way that we would truly know if she really is, like, as tall as we would hope her to be would be when she would, when she'll be next to Mario and Peach and all those characters.
Of course. That's the actual answer. But my trolley answer would be like, make Rosalina 6 feet tall, you cowards. that's my goofy answer. But I have to give it.
I
anyway.
want my mommy tall.
Give us a giant woman. Come on. But all that said, like, if that's the most I can say negatively, considering how negative I don't mean to be negative. I've noticed I've been negative with a lot of the other trailers. Given that, that's a pretty good sign. Now, will it be film of the year? No way in hell, but it's going to be fun. And at the end of the day, you don't need perfect. You need something you want to go back to. Like, it feels like it's going to be the first film, especially. It's like you can watch that now and still have a good time. After it has been out for a little while. I feel like these films are just a good time. It's like Sonic. The Sonic movies have been a good time as well. And I feel like they've hit this stride of making films that hit the notes the fans want without being slavishly devoted to, like, the stories that they expect to see. I am excited for this one. And that's more I can say for a lot of the other ones. The teaser got me. This teased me and it has me by the hand, we'll say. Guiding me forward with this one.
No, I'm very excited too. I mean, like, even for me, the most negative that I could really be about this is it's just that I'm not expecting this to be the best movie of the year, but from what I'm seeing, I'm very excited because I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with this, and it's just going to be great to see, like, what I remember from those games suddenly be adapted onto the big screen, but not just be adapted, but be adapted in a way that feels very fun, that feels like a very exhilarating adventure. Because, like, it's one thing to take a familiar thing and then just put it on the big screen, similarly to, like, what we've seen with either Minecraft or the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, that, that they would just do, like, here's the movie version of this. But with Mario, however, there is that extra layer that makes it enjoyable and fun, where, there is, like, a purpose where it's all part of the adventure. It's all part of the world building. It's all part of the entire experience. It's not, it like with Mario, it feels like they did it much more than just for fan service. It's all to craft this, like, roller coaster of a movie. And that is what makes me excited.
Agreed. And I'll say this right now with Nintendo in general. They're on a roll right now with adaptations. They just were talking about the live action Zelda movie. I'm not sure if you saw this. They released a couple stills. They look like they're from the. Yeah, that looks great. Looking at the shot, it made me think of the scene from Princess Bride where, like, it's the As You Wish early on where they have, like, the romanticized little shots and all that, the hair blowing in the faces. I'm excited. All I gotta see now is see this Metroid film that's completely without any dialogue and just told visually. Yeah. And I'm done. I'm good. That we're good. That's all I'm asking for.
I will say with the Zelda images, I personally don't know what to think about that, because it's just pictures. It's like, yep, there's Link, there's Zelda, there they are in New Zealand, and it's like, okay, that's it. Like, I don't feel like there's much for me to go and comment. It's like, okay, like,
what gets me excited for the Zelda movie?
What is it?
The director.
Okay, yes. That I do understand.
You see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the recent Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I'm excited for the Zelda movie. Yeah, if it was anyone else, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I don't really think you can do it well. That guy when they announced that guy was directing, like, oh, actually, okay, I'll shut up now and listen. What's going to happen next? That movie was fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed Kingdom. Like, even though I don't think it's as strong as either Dawn or War, like it's still a fantastic movie on its own. He did great.
Yeah.
So I am hoping that that same treatment will be able to be added onto the Zelda movie.
Yeah. You know what he does so well that I think will work with Zelda? He does a few little things to tell you what the world's like, and you totally get what the world's like. Minimalism. He doesn't need a lot to say a whole bunch. And with Zelda, to communicate a world like that, you don't have a lot of time to tell the vastness of the world of Zelda and Hyrule. But with this guy directing, he can communicate a lot about the world very quickly with very little that you have to figure out. It's all communicated visually through implication, through background detail, and that tells you everything you need to know without explicitly going through a conversation like, oh, here's the history of the world, here's this, here's what the Kokiri are, here's all that, here's the Gerudo people. It just communicates it all visually and clearly, and I think that's going to be really, really helpful with the Zelda film in general.
Although I do have a question to go and ask you. Do you think they're going to make Link talk?
Yeah, I think they will. Which I'm okay with. I can live with that. When they made Mario talk, it worked in the Mario film. Link, I feel, will be a man of a few words, but it wouldn't even be the first time he talked in Zelda. He talks in the Zelda games. It's just you don't hear what he has to say. Yeah, that's the difference. Like, he still has a personality. He still interacts with those around him. It's just he's not verbalizing it because the player kind of projects themselves onto Link. Now, Samus Aran talking, that's distracting to me because who's she talking to? Outside of like other M or whatever, she doesn't have anyone to talk to. With Zelda and Mario, they're communicating with people. We don't see what the communications are. Samus, she's mostly alone all the time. So for me, it's like, what is she doing? Talking to herself? No, she's just on her mission. They can talk, but we just don't see their words.
Yeah, I do get what you mean. But to go back into the main subject with the Mario movie, I think it's safe to say that it is the best trailer from all of the ones that we have seen. It's the one that definitely has sold us onto the feature and the one has built us the most hype. So now I would like to go and pass this on to the chat wall. And I'd like to ask you all, what did you all think of the Mario Galaxy trailer? Did it get you hyped up for it? Do you have any criticisms to go and express on this? Let me know what you all think. All right, so let's see. This trailer, I'm hyped. The original Galaxy is probably my favorite game of all time, and it'll be fun seeing those elements brought to life. But hopefully they'll do Rosalina's backstory justice, because that will be a critical thing to get right. By the way, you should see the edit where Bowser and his masterpiece are replaced with John Lasseter and Spellbound. It's hilarious. Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, now we're talking. I love the first Mario movie, so seeing this come out, on top of being based on my favorite Mario game, I'm so hyped. The animation is still gorgeous. I like how Bowser and Luigi are still chill with each other. And while Benny Sadfi wasn't the voice I imagined for Bowser Jr., Brie Larson as Rosalina was super inspired. This is easily my most anticipated movie of 2026, but with Yoshi confirmed to appear, is this movie going to endorse his tax fraud? That is actually true. We have yet to see Yoshi.
I want to see them copy this moment from the games that everyone had in their lifetime where Mario jumps off Yoshi and lets him plummet to his doom to get a couple centimeters a little higher.
Oh my God.
That's what I want to see. I want to see them adapt that.
I wonder if they're going to do that as like a tragic moment during the climax. Like, Yoshi looks up. I understand, Mario. You got to do it. Goodbye, Yoshi.
Okay, so I know I said Danny DeVito as Wario. What if Danny DeVito was Yoshi?
Oh my God.
I just want Danny DeVito in a Mario film. I'll tell you.
Right on my back, Mario. I'll bring you to a marvelous land.
I'm the trash man. I go out and I throw trash all over the...
All right, let's see. As a huge Mario fan, the Galaxy games are some of my favorites, and this trailer really got me excited. Visually, it's really beautiful. I love the references to the games, and the casting of Brie Larson as Rosalina is great. And I'm curious about Bowser Jr.'s casting, so overall, I'm so excited for this. Although I'm a little disappointed that we don't see Yoshi in the trailer, considering we know he's in the movie based on the leaks and the ending of the first movie. All right. This, along with Hext and Toy Story 5, is one of my most anticipated animated films of 2026. I remember when I first played Super Mario Galaxy back in the Wii days, and I was like, this could be perfect for a movie if Mario ever gets one. And now my wish came true. The biggest highlight for me was Rosalina herself. I do think Brie Larson sounds like she's having the time of her life voicing her. She's a huge Nintendo fan, and that I could relate. So yeah, she's one of my biggest celebrity crushes. All right.
Hey, not a bad choice.
No, very good choice. I understand. Let's see. The Mario Galaxy trailer is so exciting. As a Mario fan, Illumination have done their homework when doing this. The scenes with Bowser is funny and cute, but the biggest highlight is with Rosalina and Bowser Jr. Brie Larson did a fantastic job with Rosalina's voice. Benny Sadfi as Jr. is a unique take on him, and that's a good thing. My hope is how they'll handle Rosalina's backstory in the film. It'll give Illumination more opportunities on the storytelling and heart. The grifters who complain about Brie Larson and suddenly the comment stopped. There's just not enough room, sadly.
They've been quiet about this movie. A lot of the grifters, I've noticed. I keep my ear to that. They haven't said a whole lot. They've been more obsessed with Predator Badlands than this so far.
I will say, I did see there were a few, like the usual suspects that tried to make like a video with their AI generated thumbnails. Like, I'm not saying there hasn't been, but yeah, like their rage wasn't as extreme compared to like her prominent time in the MCU.
I think it's because she's not front and center. You can't see her face. Is the thing, I think. I think it's easier to grift when you can see an actor's face than when they're voicing something. Because even with like Peach, the big thing with the first Mario film was, of course, Shadiversity's very famous rants about Princess Peach wearing pants. That was the one that got a lot of attention because of how ridiculous it was. But you didn't see Anya, but no one mentioned Anya Taylor-Joy in those rants. You know, that's the thing. She's not visible. She's not visibly in the movie. Chris Pratt was his was the most visible presence, but no one else was talking about the rest of them because they weren't visually in front of the film the way Chris Pratt was until it came out and everyone heard Bowser, Jack Black singing, which I think he's contractually obligated to every film he's in at this point.
Yeah, if he has to sing for Minecraft, he has to sing for every movie.
Yeah, expecting the song number for this one, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. I'll read one more comment and then we'll go into the finale. Let's go, people! Finally, AniMat reacted to the Mario Galaxy movie. Seriously, Anthony, it looks like you're trolling us. I totally get those references because I did play Mario Odyssey last year, and I recently played Super Mario Galaxy on the Switch for my birthday. I am so excited to see this movie because the first movie got me introduced to the Mario franchise in the first place. Sadly, we don't see Yoshi in the trailer, but we could see that in the other trailers in the future. So yeah, I could definitely see the hype is absolutely real for the Mario Galaxy movie. So once again, if you are excited to go and check that movie out, keep in mind that it will be coming out in theaters on April 3rd. So with that said, even though we are done with the trailers, we still have one more story to get into. So when we come back, we will go and get back onto the subject of Disney. But let's just say that the Moana live action remake and Toy Story 5, they're not the worst ideas that recently came out of Disney, so stay tuned for that.
Extensive My Little Pony collection of fan fiction, of course, right now, right?
Wait,
That's
what?
the time to discuss it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you.
Yo, I'm just warning you, dude. Right in the middle, as you said that, we just went back on, so that has been recorded.
Oh, I know. Oh. Why are they doing this at the time we're going to go back to commercial? Okay. So you're smart. Okay, so you're smart. You know what's going on. All right. I've worked in communications before going to YouTube. I know how to screw with people on a level that's hilarious and not mutually destructive. That's the other thing too.
That is fair. All right, so with that said, folks, it is now time we get into the grand finale. And even though we started with some Disney, we're also going to end off with some Disney. But specifically, what's going to be happening on Disney Plus. Because recently, Disney had their fourth quarter earning and full year earning meeting discussing about how 2025 went for them. And I would say so far, like, not a perfect year, but things were relatively fine for Disney. Like, sales has been going pretty high. Like, more people have been going to the parks. Even with Disney Plus, like, they have been gaining subscriptions, even though there was one time where they lost a whole bunch.
For a very good reason.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, for so far, not a perfect year, but more good did happen for Disney than bad. But then they revealed one announcement. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. There's nothing quite like an industry grabbing hold of a dying horse and like riding it into the sunset. So,
Yeah. And by the way, quick side note that yes, someone did mention in the chat, there was also the situation with YouTube TV that they've managed to settle. So now ABC and ESPN are back on YouTube TV, but that's not what I'm talking about. And I mean, it's not necessarily an announcement per se. It's just an idea that Bob Iger has, specifically with having AI on Disney Plus. So yes, during the earnings conference call, they did talk about all the great stuff, but they also talked about what's going to be happening. Oh, excuse me. What is going to be happening in the future that Disney may have in store. And one possible idea that Bob Iger has suggested is maybe have the idea where they can integrate AI onto Disney Plus, specifically to have an AI generator where if you want to go and produce a video on Disney Plus, then you could go and do it. Now, I got my source here on The Hollywood Reporter in which they went and described what this would entail. That went a little too fast. So it says here, the other thing that we're really excited about that AI is going to give us the ability to do is to provide users of Disney Plus with a much more engaged experience, including the ability for them to create user-generated content and to consume user-generated content, mostly short form for others, stated Bob Iger. It sounds a bit like Disney's plan to encroach on OpenAI's Sora territory, or maybe it will just use Sora too. A bit later in the call, Iger said that Disney has productive conversations with unnamed AI companies and that he hoped the studio giant could reach an agreement that would also reflect our need to protect the IP. So this isn't just to go and create their own AI video generator, but also to have a way so that they could have AI only for themselves, for their IPs, that no other AI company would go and use their IPs to go and generate their stuff, but it's also a way to protect their rights from IPs, from AI, so that they could go and capitalize on AI with their own stuff. And it's also worth mentioning that they've also had a discussion, which includes games, in which it says changes will include games, or at least a number of game-like features on Disney Plus through its agreement with Epic Games, he said. The Epic Games deal is actually more about Disney IPs being used on Epic's platform, and there will also be Gen AI short-form user-generated content on Disney Plus in the future, which we have already just talked about. So yeah. Now keep in mind, this is just an idea. This isn't an official feature we have yet on Disney Plus, but this is something that Bob Iger stated that he's thinking about including. So, what did you think?
How long is it before they make inflation Elsa porn AI generated smut on Disney Plus?
Oh dear God.
You know it's coming, because with AI generation, you open the door up for anyone to do anything to your IP. Bob Iger hasn't thought of that yet. He's thinking, oh, it's going to be families and kids doing like little shorts that we can add extra content. He's not thinking the weirdos on the internet who want to just do whatever they want with these IP. You already got them with K-pop Demon Slayer, whatever, Demon Hunter, you're getting that. If you open up that Pandora's box, you're getting all of it. You're not just beyond the unethicalness of it. First off, the dangers of it technologically, the harm it has to the environment, and the fact that if you're keeping up with the technology stock market, we're talking about this briefly off stream. We were talking about this. Peter Thiel recently sold, and by recently I mean today, essentially yesterday, sold all of his stock in NVIDIA. That means one of the biggest. That's a sign that the AI bubble is coming close to bursting. When you start divesting from the technology needed to make generative content, that's a sign you no longer have faith you can get more money out of it. And now Disney is jumping in on it, jumping into a deflating industry that's about to collapse badly. Will AI go away? No, by no means no. But you're going to look at like the smaller AI generative material. Like YouTube, for example, has a lot of AI going on it. On the back end, but very little of it is full-blown generative AI because they realize that will make the content less efficient on YouTube. Disney Plus, I don't think realizes how, because again, executives in their infinite wisdom do not always have a finger on the pulse as to what people think. Bob Iger is not responsible for Marvel being successful. That's Kevin Feige. Bob Iger and the other executives are responsible for Marvel getting worse, actually, by forcing to pump out content for Disney Plus. Disney Plus is not a success for Disney as much as the video market was. In fact, they cut off revenue from DVD sales when everyone jumped on streaming. There are a lot of ways executive decisions have undercut the success of their companies. And Bob Iger doubling down on AI, all that's going to do is diminish the value of Disney Plus, not increase it, because you're going to get slop, bad slop. And beyond just slop, you can get a lot of weird fetishes on there that can be marketed to kids. And that's going to make families less comfortable with the platform. Because again, I don't mean to be weird, but people on the internet are weird. And if you have user-submitted AI content about anything any weirdo can make on the internet that kids can then consume, you're gonna get the weirdest crap imaginable, like Elsa and Spider-Man abortion YouTube shows, like they did back in the 2016, 2015. Those are all over the place. Those were user-generated, and they had Disney IP. You're just gonna get that again, only this time, Disney's going to have its logo in front of it, endorsed by Disney, the family company, weird, creepy sex stuff that kids can consume. It's going to get weird and it's going to be bad. And anyone with any common sense with how the internet works could tell you that in 5 seconds. That's what's going to be literate. Look at Roblox. That's all Roblox is. It's all weird, creepy crap that kids can consume that's in front of them. Like, no, they have no idea they're opening the floodgates to incredibly not safe for work content on a family-friendly platform that will not be age-gated like the rated R stuff is on Disney Plus right now. It's going to be exposing a lot of kids to some really not good stuff that you shouldn't be experiencing at that age, which for Disney would be a PR nightmare.
Yeah. Honestly, I completely agree with you. That's honestly the exact thoughts that I had when seeing this news. It's like, yes, we've already discussed about a lot of the ethics and a lot of the a lot of the other real world issues that come with using AI. But in the case of Disney, it really is going to be a be careful what you wish for machine, because if they want to go and proceed by doing that, there are going to be those people who will go and test it to the limit, that they want to see how much they could go and get away with it, where they're going to take characters like Mickey Mouse, Stitch, Elsa, the princesses, and what have you. They're really going to go and take it to the next level to see like how violent that they could be with them, how gory they could be with them, how vulgar they could be with them, how sexual they could be with them. Like, really test out the limits to see how much they could get away with it until Disney would go and say no. And like, considering that we are talking about Disney Plus, that has not just family friendly stuff, but also a lot of adult oriented stuff, especially with their integration with Hulu, that's just going to result into an absolute nightmare. It's just going to end up turning Disney Plus into this slop machine, except it will be endorsed by the Disney brand. And it, like you really hit the nail on the head. It's just going to make things worse for Disney Plus. It'll just devalue the whole experience when suddenly it'll just be showered with literal AI slop. Again, like, even though this is just an idea, it is a terrible idea that hopefully, like, honestly, it just makes me wish that the AI bubble can burst out sooner so that it doesn't actually happen on Disney Plus.
Well, look at like you were talking before also about the Coca-Cola ad, you know? No one likes it. No one, I haven't seen a single human being like that ad. Like in person or online, no one seems to like that more than the handcrafted real thing. And it costs just as much money as the real thing. You know, like it was just as expensive as a real filmed ad. It didn't save any money.
Yeah, and
it didn't accomplish anything.
Yeah, not to mention that they probably, like, I think Coca-Cola this year, they probably spent more on trying to justify their use of AI on it, more so than the AI itself on the commercial. Especially like when they would pull something off, like trying to release a behind the scene video that is also full on AI generated. So at that point, like, yeah, we are seeing companies that are being desperate to try to justify to themselves again and again and again on wanting to have AI be a part of their company. But it's like what I mentioned in the last episode. It's really just the fact that they're desperately trying to avoid taking the L on something that they've already spent billions of dollars upon.
Yeah. If you have to hire a PR team to promote your PR, something has gone seriously wrong with your company.
Oh, yeah. And it's also worth noting that some people have mentioned this in the chat, that there is a viral comment that is going around by Dana Terrence, the creator of Loud House, in which her response
love her.
In which her response is that she went to go and say that like because of this idea, that people should go and unsubscribe to Disney Plus and to go and pirate the Owl House, that she is that upset with it.
Yeah. Disney has not made a lot of friends this year.
No.
He pissed off everyone. And you know what? That's the problem.
Oh, no, the Owl House. I think I made a mistake. I think I ended up saying the Loud House instead of the Owl House.
Oh,
sorry.
I missed that one entirely. The Owl House is great. Love the Owl House.
I meant the Owl House.
Loud House is good too, but the Owl House is better.
Yeah.
Just putting that there by a mile. What did I say that?
No, but there is one comment that I do want to say, however, and honestly, it's a little bit of a criticism on Dana Terrace when she said that. Like, the thing, honestly, I do understand her, I do understand her sentiment. Like, yeah, like, I get why this is something that would make you want to go and say, unsubscribe to Disney Plus. And yeah, Disney, considering the use of AI, yeah, that's absolutely cringe. Am I the only one that feels like it's kind of weird that she would go and say this on Twitter? Because I do understand you also use Twitter, but for me, like, I'm fully against the use of Twitter in general. But the thing is with Twitter,
that's fair.
But the thing is that Twitter is like literally the most pro AI social media platform out there that is actually doing a lot of like the AI generated stuff that people despise. Like, just using Twitter alone is kind of enabling AI in a sense. So that's why I feel like it's a little bit backward. Like, if she would go and express this comment onto either Blue Sky or even like on other bigger platforms like either Facebook or Instagram or whatever, then honestly, I feel like her comment would definitely have more weight. It's just weird seeing her comment this on Twitter, in which that, you know, like, that thing has done all the terrible crap with AI, even like to the point where like the most of it is pretty much AI bots anyways. So it's like, if you're not putting the energy of taking of like leaving Twitter because of the AI stuff, do you think people will unsubscribe to Disney Plus for the AI stuff? It's just something that I want to go and point out. It's not a defense on Disney. It's more just seeing the weird hypocrisy of people who are fully against AI and yet still using a highly pro AI platform like Twitter.
You see, you say using the platform. I see it as devaluing Elon Musk's investment in AI, one tweet at a time, by making the site worse for him. No, I don't disagree with you. It's a fair point to make. I also think it's just that the industry uses Twitter more than Blue Sky. In general, it just seems like they haven't moved past or change gears yet. I use Twitter because I like to keep an eye on, like, because again, my content responds so much to chuddy kind of stuff. The chuds are all on Twitter. I can't see them on Blue Sky, so I'm gonna have to respond to them. I gotta know what they're talking about over there, which sucks, but that's the inevitability of life. But Dana Terrace using it on Twitter instead of Blue Sky, I feel like she probably just wanted to reach as many ears as possible. And hey, listen, no one on Twitter, you're very likely to get if you criticize Disney, you're gonna get traction. Regardless of anything else, that gets eyeballs on your posts.
Oh yeah, of course.
So there you go. Right, that's what I gotta say there. I think we're in agreement though. Like, this is a dumb move from Disney. Like, beyond the ethics of it, just dumb.
Yeah. Like, again, I'm not defending Disney whatsoever. Like, it is a straight up bad move. Like, it's bad financially considering how things are going right now with AI. So hopefully there's a likelihood this won't even happen in the first place. But even just the consideration of it is already bad enough. And like, even when you think like in the long term, like if it does occur, then yeah, it's just going to be like, it's just going to end up making things worse for Disney. It's just like with any other company that has enabled AI, just like either Coca-Cola or Twitter. Like, it just, it completely devalues the product itself. And will it deter people away from still consuming it? Maybe not. But still, though, it's just not a good look for them in general.
No. But the thing is, that's going to happen, though. How many things has Disney said they're going to do with Disney Plus that they never actually did? Yeah. Look at how many Star Wars shows they announced for it. Never materialized. Look at all the different Marvel plans. Never materialized. Hulu was supposed to be fully integrated a year ago. Took this long to get there. I think Bob Iger is just saying crap to get the investors on board, not realizing the investors have no faith in AI anymore because he's an out-of-touch executive. I think that's the big thing. He's just saying crap to get attention. And I feel like from people with money, mind you. So I don't think any of this is going to materialize the way he's saying it is. And besides, by the time they get to integrate it, Bob Iger might be on his way out anyway. He's already talking about leaving and having a successor in place.
They did say his contract officially ends by the end of 2026.
Yeah. So by the time they incorporate it may not even be like something he can even do anymore, like realistically. But or they've been playing it for a year already. Who knows? It's hard to say. But I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to blow up in their faces. There's no world where this ends up being a win for Disney Plus if they incorporate this technology. And if they don't incorporate this technology, then they look like cowards for backing down. Yeah. That's the other side of it. So it's either bad controversy or ineffective. Which is it? They're both not good, but you put yourself in that box already. You got to choose one or the other. Ineffective is better than bad publicity, though.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this really feels like it's a very lighter version of the controversy that they face with Jimmy Kimmel. Like, it's not as bad because it's nothing more than just an idea, a very stupid idea, but it's nothing that really has caused any major real world consequence. So from there, the sooner they could go and back away from it, the sooner that they can hear that, okay, maybe people don't want this, so maybe we shouldn't go and do this, the better it would be. So overall, it's not going to do that much. Like, it's not going to do that much harm. So hopefully they're going to listen and they'll back away from that idea, not even touch AI or integrate that onto Disney Plus. But still, though, it's like it's worth bringing up and like revealing the consequences. And maybe hopefully there will be people at Disney who will listen and they're like, yeah, let's not, let's protect our company. Let's protect our company by not putting in AI.
If the Jimmy Kimmel thing proved anything, it's this: Disney is impulsive, and Disney reacts when they get negative feedback. Especially if they can pivot quickly. Nothing's happened yet. Most people haven't heard this story. They can pivot based on bad publicity right now, and they probably will because they put these stories out to get feelers on what people think.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, they put stories out like this to get a sense like, okay, what people thinking, what's the reaction like, what have you. No,
I understand, man. It's just it's not the best idea to go with, honestly. So hopefully, like the more we do, the more people will do stuff like this, discuss it, like actually bring it up, discuss about it. The more likely Disney will hear and they'll back away.
Yeah, and don't forget, Disney Plus already has AI content on the platform. Thanks to Secret Invasion. So don't forget that.
Is it the history stuff? Because I know
Secret Invasion is the terrible Marvel series with
that one.
Yeah, Nick Samuel Jackson one. Yeah, that one. The opening's AI. Everyone forgets that.
Yeah, that is true.
Like everyone was like, oh yeah, no, this weird animation beginning. It's all AI. So they've been doing it for a while. Disney is not. They're inching their feet into the hot boiling water. They want to ease the temperature up for the crabs boiling, bit by bit. Don't forget, this is not a new thing. They've been doing this. Don't give them any slack on that.
Exactly. So with that said, let's go into the chat wall. And now I want to ask you all, what did you all think about the idea about having AI on Disney Plus? Write down whatever you may feel about it. I highly doubt if there's anybody who would go and defend this idea. So let me know what you all think. Let's see. Maybe it won't happen, but the fact that Bob Iger is at least thinking about the idea of bringing AI to Disney Plus is just another example of how Bob is bringing Disney towards a downward spiral and becoming more and more out of touch. He needs to leave soon and bring in a new and better CEO/leader. Can we all agree? Yeah, his time to go shall happen soon, hopefully. Anyways, I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy. The fact that Iger is actually suggesting this is downright abominable and should instantly signal his removal from office. I've already seen a lot of videos of movies ruined by AI, emphasizing on ruin, and I always want to bleach my eyes, and now that's all that'll all be official on streaming. Praying this doesn't happen, but this is why I only use Disney Plus if necessary and mostly stick to physical media. Also, apparently George Miller is supporting AI now too, sadly. Yeah, I know there are some filmmakers who are okay with it.
I don't know if they even realize what it is. Like George Miller's 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if he even understands the full implications of what he's saying.
Yeah. Try to make a Happy Feet 3 with that. Yeah, then we'll see if it's a good idea.
I mean, look at what he did with Mad Max. That's almost all done with state-of-the-art effects and a whole different range of physical and digital effects. I think he probably just thinks, it's just another effect, another tool to use, and not again. But he's very. I think give George Miller AI, he'll be pissed off at how little he can control it. That's going to be the big factor. You can't control AI. You just have to. It's a random generator. You just do it until you get what you want. And, then you get mistakes and you can't fix it. Most of these filmmakers are going to get so pissed when using AI because it's not going to do what they think it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not a magic box. So
actually,
it's the lottery.
Speaking of magic box, someone even commented, once Disney figures out it can't fully block porn from showing up, they will shut it down quickly. And hopefully before it tests outside of the company. Oh, yeah. Let's
Also,
see.
Spider-Man pregnancy. It's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Place
If
your
you want
bets.
to if you want a true test to AI, you bring in a bunch of 13-year-olds to try to experiment. You know that they'll be extremely edgy, and if they're able to get away with even one thing they try to do, that's when you know you messed up.
I just don't get why we keep falling for these issues. We saw what happened with YouTube with Elsa Gate. We know what they're gonna make. They've done it 100 times, 100,000 times, and like you give them a second to do it, they make all the slop. It's crazy. And it's always the same garbage.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
How many Elsa dental games are they gonna make? I don't know.
Who knows? This is by far one of the worst ideas imaginable. The idea of Disney Plus having an AI feature where people can create whatever they want, it's going to create some of the most messed up things imaginable. Seriously, this is just making Disney and Bob Iger look bad, and I hope this won't happen again. This won't happen. The sooner Bob leaves Disney, the better. Seriously, no wonder Dana Terrace was so pissed off at this, and after the whole Jimmy Kimmel controversy, Disney has really not had a good image lately. Oh yeah, hasn't been like, even though financially it's been pretty good, image-wise, not so much. All right, I'll have time to read one more comment. So, man, this is a terrible idea. I can't believe Disney wants to use AI despite that no one likes it. And I can't believe Bob Iger is that stupid. I don't know his personality change, but let's hope that this is that this next CEO is not as desperate for AI like Bob Iger right now. I feel terrible from that Coca-Cola ad, and also thank God my country doesn't air that commercial. I know this. Oh my God, AI needs to be dead. Okay. So with that said, though, that should do it for this episode. And thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
No problem. No problem. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to plug my channel if that's okay.
I was actually about to ask you for that.
Oh, perfect. I'm entitled to this, damn it.
Yeah. So if there's anywhere else that people want to go and follow you, where can they go and find you?
You can find me on YouTube. That's the easiest place. Social media as well, Blue Sky, the devil site, Twitter. But YouTube's the one that you can find. I upload videos every week. Sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they get people angry. Fine. If you want, just search my name, Anthony Gumuglia, on YouTube, you'll find it pretty quickly. Or a video hates me. One of the two. You're gonna find out that I hate video or one of mine. It all works out.
I know the feeling, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
And as for me, if you guys enjoyed your time here on AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, then don't forget to go and subscribe to the AniMat Live Twitch channel or the AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast YouTube channel. At the same time, if you're listening to this on whatever podcast service you're listening to, whether it be on Spotify, Apple, what else is there? Amazon, and more, then don't forget to follow me there too. And with that said, I would like to say thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.